17 students folded 53,000 feet of toilet paper in half 13 times using the climate-controlled confines of the 825-foot hallway known as the Infinite Corridor at MIT. Working for 8 hours, the students used jumbo rolls of toilet paper with more than 2,000 feet in each roll. The ends were then taped together and the long piece folded in half until it was only 5 feet long, 2.5 feet high, and 8,192 layers. And that, my friends, is truly impressive. Welcome back, my dear virtual little siblings. I'm Kevin Zen, and this is how to get into MIT using TP. Let's dive right in. The first key concept I want to talk to you about is uselessness. Yes, you heard me right. Uselessness. Allow me to explain. Now, typically when we think of MIT, we think of the engineer entrepreneur who has somehow harnessed the power of the wind to electrify an entire village, or some teenage inventor that builds robots to collect microplastics in oceans. And while this is a totally valid approach to helping you get in, there are a few other key ingredients which I feel like most applicants just overlook. Playfulness, humor, personality. What if I told you that we could hit all three of these notes by building something completely useless? But how? Well, because at the end of the day, MIT wants kids who can solve problems. Yes, that's true. But they are also looking for kids who do engineering just for the pure love and joy of engineering. Take this head-mounted toilet paper dispenser, for example. First off, the sheer uselessness of this invention conveys humor. I mean, guys, like the fact that someone would go out of their way to make something like this, how is that not funny? Can you imagine getting one of these for Christmas? In fact, if you wrote an essay about how you 3D printed this device and handed it to your sister, who you know always has like allergies and sniffles for her birthday, that would be a pretty eye-catching approach. See what I mean? The beauty of this tactic, my friends, is that it takes very little time. I am not an engineer, look at me. Personally, I'm more of a humanities kid myself, but just look at this thing. I mean, anyone could make it. And I promise you that MIT really wants you to talk about things like this. In fact, one of their short response questions from 2023 was literally, "We know you lead a busy life full of activities, many of which are required of you. So tell us about something you do simply for the pleasure of it." Too many students try to use this section to talk about what a great person they are. They mention some volunteering experience, which already appears on their activities list or resume, which, by the way, quick application tip, try not to write about something that appears elsewhere on your application. Or students use this question about, something they do for fun to write about cooking with their family, which, to be fair, is honestly quite wholesome. But it's not exactly what a school like MIT is looking for. Cooking up some curry with your grandma is a very solid approach for a school like Yale or Dartmouth, who love down-to-earth kids. But MIT wants playful, quirky, and just downright weird students. Which brings me to this. The time a bunch of high schoolers tried to break the world record for paper folding back in 2011. These students were from the Boston area and partnered with Origamiti or Riga MIT. Anyways, MIT's Origami Club to break a world record. MIT's Origami Club to fold 13,000 feet of single-ply toilet paper 12 times. Now that, my friends, is something worth bragging about. I love this approach because it conveys not just ingenuity, but also intellectual vitality. And although I'm not 100% sure, I am fairly confident that one of these kids who participated in this activity ended up going to MIT. Or at the very least, a top 5 engineering program in the country. Also guys, take a look at this website right here, Slice of MIT. What does it say? MIT students want you to be sick, surprising, insightful, and quirky. These are the traits that MIT wants in its students. Not just someone who's nice at engineering, but someone who applies engineering in inventive ways. Okay friends, I hope you enjoyed that quick break. Returning back to the toilet paper folding project. Again, we are on a schedule. Time is of the essence. Believe me when I say it's actually easier to execute a project like this with a team of motivated individuals in a weekend than it is to start a nonprofit or code some new app, which could take weeks, if not months. We don't have weeks, we don't have months. This is just one example of a relatively low input, high impact project that you could accomplish in a couple of hours. But honestly, there are hundreds, if not thousands. The only limit is your imagination. And I guess how much toilet paper you have access to. Final warning. There is something really important that just needs to be said. What I am not advising you to do is totally stop doing these highly ambitious projects which help showcase your technical skills in computer science, mechanical engineering, all that sort of stuff. Obviously, MIT loves that. And if you're watching this as a freshman, sophomore, or even junior, you can and should build all of those cool things. Like if you manage to create some sort of biodegradable, sustainable toilet paper, terrific, sensational. But you have to imagine that in a world where everyone and their second cousin are coding apps or building robots, we need to add some flavor, some spice, some rock and roll to our MIT application. And how do we do that? Be useless, but also useful, but also useless. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, my dear virtual little sibling. Let me know in the comment section below which school I should do next and what other content you'd like to see.